So we are back, some more Madden NFL 17 Browns franchise mode. In last episode, we went and played the Green Bay Packers. We obviously came with a W. 42-20 was the score. We just demolished the Green Bay Packers. At least 41-20 was the score. We demolished those Packers over there at, I believe, at home. So 41-20 was the score. Or he just demolished them. I don't know how he did it, but anyway, Aaron Rodgers, 306 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. And our man Keifer Paup, 234 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He did have a terrible first half, but came back and played an excellent second half to win the game. But rushing yards, he did have a pretty good rushing game, I guess. 7 yards rushing for Duke Johnson on 10 attempts at 7 per carry, not too bad. And then we go to receiving. We didn't have that really great receiving numbers, but at least for the Green Bay Packers, Jeff Janis had 111 yards receiving, 1 touchdown. Randall Cobb had 103 yards receiving. Gary Barnes had 75 and a touchdown. Corey Coleman 69 yards. And I believe Malcolm Rogers 27 yards receiving, 1 touchdown, and 1 run after catch. So I guess our defense stepped up big in the second half, though. Ali Godfrey had 13 tackles. Raheem Moore Sr. had 10 tackles. Clinton Dix had 9 tackles. Quentin Rollins had 6. Quan Williams had 5 tackles. Who else? Junior Galette had 5 and a sack. Pretty good game by us, I guess, on defense. But who had sacks? So Carl Nassib had 1.5 sacks. Junior Galette had 1. Emmanuel Ogbah had 1. Fackrell had 1. And that's about it for us. Oh, and we had Danny Schultz had half a sack, too, I guess. But interceptions, though. Interceptions, who do we have? Joe Hayden had 1 interception. That's about it. And it was a pick 6, I think, too. Yeah, it was at the end of the game, though. Pick 6 in the end zone. But let's go check out what happened when it comes to the kicking game. I don't get anything when it comes to kicking. No field goals made by Travis Coons, which is a good thing because he doesn't have much of a leg anyway. But I think that's about it for us, our stats for the game against Green Bay. But now let's move on to the next game, which is the Baltimore Ravens game. We're going to probably simulate up to, or should we simulate up to? Maybe play his Colts game in Week 9? We could probably get some simulating done, plus the trade deadline done in this episode, most likely. Yeah, we could probably do that, actually. One thing to do, though, is choose the players we probably need to trade off this roster, though. Our roster is pretty stacked when it comes to depth. But most of that depth we do not need whatsoever. So, right now, in the AFC North, let's go check out this, though. So, in the AFC North right now, we're 3-1, top of the AFC North. Now, we have the Bengals 3-1, we have the Steelers 2-2, and the 0-3 Ravens. So, we're playing a team that hasn't won the season yet this week. So, they're probably pretty hungry for a W, but I'm pretty sure we could probably start them off and get another W, or 4th of the season. But let's check out the stats through 4 games this season, though. We were just killing it so far. But looks like Keifer Paup is 6th in the NFL in passing yards with 1,125 yards passing, 12 touchdowns to 5 interceptions with a 70% completion percentage. So that's pretty good for him. What else? I guess we started our rushing, though. Duke Johnson, 309 yards rushing, 5.2 per carry with 2 touchdowns and 1 rushing fumble. So not too bad of a season for him so far. Let's move on to receiving, though. Our top receiver on this team, I believe, is our 85 overall receiver, Corey Coleman, 302 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. Not too bad of a season so far for him, but the rest of the team is not that bad when it comes to those stats. Let's move on to the next one, which is, I guess, blocking, though. Our new offensive line. I think we had like 3 positions through the draft on our offensive line. All starters so far this season. But right now, who let up sacks so far? We have Joe Thomas, 0 sacks let up so far. Joel Bitonio, 0. Alvin Bailey, 0. I think he's like the 3rd center. But next up is Sebastian Vollmer at 0. Our backup right tackle. And then John Grieco has 1. Cody Warfield has 1. Antoine Grice has 1. And Julius Creighton has 1. So all the rookies have 1. But even a 1's not that bad, though. We're not getting murdered on the offensive line, which is really good to see. But let's move on to defense. Defense wins championships, and I think our defense is actually pretty good this season. We do have the rookie middle linebacker himself. We have Ali Godfrey, 37 tackles on the season, 1 tackle for a loss, 1 interception, and 0 sacks so far. We have Raheem Moore Sr., our free safety, at 34 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss. Junior Galette has 30 and 3.5 sacks. Will Hill has 29 and 0 sacks. Who else has sacks on the season? Yeah, Courtney Upshaw has 2 sacks, 21 tackles. Emmanuel Ogbah has 17 tackles and 4.5 sacks. And who else? Danny Shelton has 12 tackles and 1.5 sacks. Carl Nassib, the second-year player at a right end position, has 3.5 sacks this season with 12 tackles. Who leads us in sacks this season so far? We have Emmanuel Ogbah with 4.5 sacks, leads the team in sacks. It's pretty cool. Let's move on to kicking, though. Travis Coons only has 1 attempted field goal this season. Holy crap. Just to let you know, if you haven't watched the previous episodes or not, I've only played 2 games this season yet, and not in the other 2 games we didn't even attempt a field goal or even make one. It's kind of messed up, but Travis Coons barely getting used so far. Let's see your punting, though. Only 16 punts this season, not too bad, I guess, for the Browns by Sam Martin. He's a pretty good punter, too, but Who else? Now kick returning. Kick returning. I have Tyron Wilker, who has 1 touchdown in that game. And then we have Mike Allen, 301 yards return. Not too bad, I guess. Let's see punt return, though. Mike Allen, 120 yards punt returning, 0 touchdowns. And I believe that's it for our season stats so far. So our team's killing it so far through 4 games. We're 3-1 right now. Not too bad. Right now, we're 10th in NFL in offensive yards with 1,531. 29th in defensive yards. So we're just getting murdered, though. Holy crap. 134 points scored. We're 4th in the NFL. That's not too bad. 112 yards points allowed, or 112 points allowed. 25th in the NFL. So our defense, not that good in that regard, but our offense just doing very well so far, I guess. Let's move on to the next one, which is I want to play a renegotiate. Okay. So who wants to renegotiate this week? Demario Davis. Demario Davis I'd love to renegotiate with, but the thing is with him is that we might be able to trade him this year. We might be able to. Get somebody better maybe at middle linebacker. Who knows? But we'll leave that there. John Greco wants to resign next week probably. Christian Kirksey are probably going to end up trading this season, to be honest. Justin Gilbert will leave. RG3 will probably resign as our backup. And I think that'll be good enough. Okay, so let's go move on to the next week and see how well we do against these Baltimore Ravens. 0-3 Baltimore Ravens. We better win this one. If we lose at home to Baltimore, we're not a good team at all. So next week is the bye. Let's go and check out what happened in this Baltimore game against the Browns. We got to take this W at home, though. We have to. Let's see Keifer Paup have a great game against that Baltimore Ravens team that we won against in week 1. And it looks like what happened? Did we win? We're 4-1. Okay, we won against the Baltimore Ravens. They're now 0-4 on the season. We're 4-1. We're killing it so far. We're top of the AFC North. Everything's going great for us. We won 31-17. We killed them too. That's nice to see. Or I guess we didn't kill them, but I mean, we beat them by 2 touchdowns. That's pretty good. But let's see how we won against these Baltimore Ravens at home again. So let's see this. Keifer Paup had not too bad a game, I guess. 199 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 82.2 passing rating. Not the greatest, I guess. I'd say it's probably his worst start this season. But rushing yards, let's see this. I think our rushing game is good. Actually, it's terrible. We had Steven Locker playing. What the heck? Was there injuries? No. Okay, that's kind of weird. But Steven Locker had 16 attempts, 36 yards. Terrible 2.3 yards per carry, but Duke Johnson had 8 attempts, 34 yards, 1 touchdown, 4.3 per carry. So there's actually a lot of running backs playing. Holy crap, how many running backs played for us? It was a terrible game, but receiving, let's see this. We probably sucked. Perriman, though, had 140 yards receiving, 1 touchdown. Kenny Stills had 73 yards. Who else? Gary Barnes had 48. Josh Gordon had 33 and a touchdown. Daryl Green Beckham had 26. And where is Corey Coleman? There he is, 7 yards. Okay, only 1 reception for 7 yards this game. It's pretty bad. Let's see defense. I don't know how he won 31-17, though. This is a terrible game. 12 tackles from C.J. Mosley. Quan Williams had 7. Raheem Moore Sr. had 6. Courtney Upshaw had 6 and a tackle for a loss and a sack. Pretty good game by him, I guess. Who led us in sacks? So you had Courtney Upshaw, who had 1 sack. Justin Gilbert had half a sack. And Junior Gillette half a sack. Okay. And Justin Gilbert had 1 interception, too. So great game by him, Justin Gilbert. How old is he? I think he's like 24, 25. But he's just killing it in this game. Alec Godfrey had 6 tackles, 1 interception. It's his first career interception as an NFL player for Ali Godfrey. Then Joe Hayden had 1 interception again. Devon House had 1. Justin Gilbert had 1. And Will Hill had 2. Okay. So Will Hill had a great game for us. So our defense just stepped up spectacularly against this Baltimore Ravens offense. But let's see what Joe Flacco did, though. 5 interceptions. I didn't even look at that. 5 interceptions. That's not even Joe Flacco. That's Landry Jones playing. What happened to Joe Flacco here? He's not even injured either. What the heck? Why is Joe Flacco not playing? I have no idea. Did they just give up already? This game is confusing, though. I have no idea what happened this game. But Landry Jones, 1 passing touchdown, 5 interceptions, 290 yards passing, 44.7 passing rating. Just a terrible game for this Baltimore Ravens offense. But let's see anything when it comes to kicking, though. We had a few kicks here. Kicking, Coons had 1 field goal, and Tucker had 1. Okay, so that's not too bad, I guess. But it looked like a pretty sloppy game, but we came out with the W, and that's all that matters for this season. Now we're entering into our bye week in week 6. I think the trade deadline's week 7 or 8. I'm not really sure. I can't really remember too much, but why not actually do some trading in our bye week, though? How we have a little bit of a break, get the new guys organized and all that kind of stuff. So let's go and find our players we want to trade for this season. So this right now when it comes to our depth, who do we need to trade? We do have Roland Marmarosa ready to come up. 1 league left. He'll probably be back after the bye. Maybe offensive line, maybe? I don't know. We probably could trade Sebastian Vollmer, to be honest. Grieco could probably be traded too, after he go and spend his XP. We could probably end up trading Grieco, maybe Vollmer. But I don't want to diminish this entire offensive line backup, though. That'd be terrible to do. But let's move on to defense, see who we could trade on defense. Defense, when I think of trading pieces, I ultimately think of Christian Kirksey. But another thing we do, though, Christian Kirksey is younger than our man, Demario Davis. Demario Davis, 86 speed, 86 tackling, 86 pursuit, 87 power, hit power. Christian Kirksey is not the greatest hitter, but he does have play recognition and pursuit in his favor. So you could probably end up trading Christian Kirksey to somewhere else. And who else could we trade? Probably maybe Silga, actually, because we have a lot of defensive tackles, that's for sure, a lot of them. And Silga could probably go. So we got Silga, we got Kirksey, and let's see our offense again, though. We do have Gary Barnidge here. I'm thinking of something. Maybe put Dorial Green-Beckham in as starter for the next week when it comes to tight end, so we get to make some experience here. Because when you look at Dorial Green-Beckham, he's younger, 24 years old. He's got great stats for a wide receiver. But if you convert him to a tight end, he could even use those as his size. His size is 6'5". He's a big receiver, though. He could easily be put at tight end and excel. Only problem is his run block right now, but that could easily be upgraded in the upcoming weeks. Whereas Gary Barnidge, he's got better run block, but he has worse stats when it comes to almost absolutely everything. So Gary Barnidge, we could end up trading somewhere else. He's 31 years old. I think he's 1 inch taller than our man Dorial Green-Beckham, but still, younger is better. He's 7 years younger than Gary Barnidge, so maybe youth might be the way to go. But we might actually hold on to him for this season. I mean, we do need some veteran depth if we're going to enter them into the playoffs, so we'll leave that there. So let's go and find some trade partners for our man, Christian Kirksey, and I believe Silga. Let's go into Trade Center and see what we could find. So one party who's interested in both these players is the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins, who do they have for talent on this team that we could take? One thing it says we do need is a right end. We don't really need a right end. I think our defensive line's fine. We don't need a running back. We don't need a quarterback. We don't need a fullback for sure. Our fullback is fine developing. Wide receiver is a position we could probably look at replacing most likely. We have Jarvis Landry I'd love to get, but the problem is that Jarvis Landry is the best receiver on the Dolphins. I don't want to take that away from them, though. I mean, you gotta respect the Dolphins. They have a good team. Actually, no, they don't have a good team, but I mean, you don't want to take their best receiver, though. They're fine with him. But tight end, we don't need Jordan Cameron. We already have a tight end. Left tackle, we don't need a left tackle. We have Joe Thomas. Left guard, I think we already have a left guard. Our offensive line is actually fine. We can just skip over the offensive line. Left end, who do they have at left end? They have Cam Wake, 35 years old, 85 overall. I don't really want to bring that on to this team. But he is a beast, though. I know that. Cam Wake, yeah, I think his age might be a little bit too old for me. But defensive tackle, who do you have? You have Ndamukong Suh. You have Sammy Hill. Maybe Ndamukong Suh. I can't say it really properly, but I'm just going to say Ndamukong Suh. Maybe Sue. Let's see this, though. He's only making $8.9 million. That's not too bad. He's 30 years old, 320 pounds, 6'4", a great defensive tackle. I know that. Maybe we could say him from the Miami Dolphins. That could be a thing we could do, because we always need defensive tackle. Our defensive tackles kind of suck this year. So, should we actually trade for this, or should we trade for like a... damn it. Our team is just filled with talent. That's the problem. We do need a good, talented defensive tackle to come and lead our defensive line to a great year, but I don't know. Let's try this, though. Let's try Silga, Kirksey for Sue. We'll go through. It does! What the heck? Okay, so Christian Kirksey, Silga. Okay, so we just got Ndamukong Suh. I wasn't really trying to, but I mean, okay, I guess that's fine. We did trade our backup middle linebacker, a backup defensive tackle, for a star defensive tackle on this team. I like that. So I don't know if it's the right trade to make, but we do need to upgrade our defensive tackle, that's for sure. We have no talented defensive tackles on this team, or at least good starters. But now we just found a huge piece of the puzzle in Sue, and I think he might be able to go and lead our defensive tackle line, or at least our defensive line, to a great year. Now we have Ogba, Shelton, Sue, and Nassib on the line. That's crazy to think. So Carl Nassib, keep progressing, I guess. Sue's just great all around. Now we have Danny Shelton, plus we have the young Emmanuel Ogba at left end. I have no idea why it keeps telling us we do need linebackers. We do not need linebackers for sure. We're fine with Demario Davis and Ali Godfrey. Plus we have Courtney Upshaw and Sebastian Ako. I think we're fine there, actually. Or Sam Ako, not Sebastian. So I think our team's fine when it comes to talent all around. I think we're fine. We could add maybe a corner, maybe. Might be the best thing to do. But do we have any more trading, though? I really don't know if we could trade any more people on this team. Our backups are fine. So, I think we're good right now. Special teams, you don't need to fiddle with that. We're fine at that. 75 overall kicker. We have 79 overall Sam Martinez. Our punter, we're fine there. Practice squad, I think our practice squad has enough talent that if we do need somebody, we could easily bring somebody up. Like, we do have defensive tackle in Adolphus Washington. We do have a few strong safeties, and we don't have a cornerback, though. Oh, we have Buckner, though. So, let's go free and see if we could find a cornerback, maybe to go and replace Quan Williams. I think we might be able to find one. Let's check this out. We can. Okay, so, wait, who's this guy? Claiborne. I haven't looked at talent in the free agency for a while now, so this is kind of surprising. Let's see Claiborne, though. Let's check him out. Raquez Claiborne. He is normal development, though. Okay. He's not the greatest. I don't think we find anybody in here, but that was a great trade, though, I'd say so myself. A backup middle linebacker, a backup defensive tackle for a starting defensive tackle is regarded as one of the NFL's best. It's crazy. So, we do have Ndamukong on the team now. I have no idea how he pulled it off, but for some reason, Dolphins wanted to trade their star player to the Cleveland Browns in order for us to go and maybe make the playoffs. So, let's go check out what happened. Let's check out the Dolphins season this season. Are they terrible? They've got to be terrible if they traded us their best defensive tackle for 2 backups. That's just crazy. Let's go to, where is it? Maybe standings? It should be in standings, though. Let's go here. So where's the Dolphins this season? So right now, it looks like we're second in the NFL when it comes to the record, though. Only undefeated team is the Atlanta Falcons. And next up is us. So that's crazy to think. Second in NFL. I think we're like 29th last season. That's crazy to think. But where's the Dolphins this season? I think they're terrible. Are they terrible? And they're last in the league. That's why you want to leave. Okay. So we just saved Ndamukong from the Miami Dolphins and brought him to the second best team in the league. That's crazy. So, Dolphins, goodbye. Let's go find... Wait. Oh, yeah, we're in the north. Okay, never mind. So, let's go move on. I guess we could probably move on at this point. Let's go check it. Do we have anything left to do? We do have college points to spend. And we got rid of Christian Kirksey, so we don't need to look at anything when it comes to that. Everyone was actually speculating we're going to move Christian Kirksey anyway. So, all those reporters were right. We did move Christian Kirksey plus a backup defensive tackle for Ndamukong. That's crazy. So let's go to news, see if anything happened when it comes to that. Any good news this week? I don't think there's any good news. Ron Rivera. Yeah, there's nothing good here. Just a lot of boring crap. Let's go to draft stories, though. Who's this? Rashawn Holloman blew up the line and forced a safety. So Holloman looks pretty good, I guess, at right end. That's one thing you could probably consider is upgrading our defensive line just a little bit, just a wee little bit, and draft some cornerbacks this season. We do not need to draft any offense whatsoever, or find a receiver, or find a quarterback, or find a running back, or find an offensive line, or find a tight end. Now we need to move on to the defense for next year's draft, and I think we could probably do that by drafting Rashawn Holloman. He looks pretty fine, but anything else, though? All stories, anything good here? Yeah, there's nothing good here. Okay, so... what else could we do for this week? I don't we have anything left to do. We could probably look at transactions possibly next week. But let's go spend those points on scouting and see what we could find for next year's draft. Is there any good players? Where's Rashawn Holloman anyway in the draft? He is speculated to be 8th overall. Okay. So Holloman, he looks not too bad, I guess, right there. But if you were to go and get some draft picks, you could probably draft one of these linebackers in Lacey Green-Ellis or Derek Blackburn, though. They'd be crazy good on our team. We do need left outside linebackers and right outside, at least according to our chart. But let's check this now. Are we fine defensive tackle? We're finally good defensive tackle after getting Ndamukong in that trade. It still says we need a right end plus a middle linebacker and a left outside. So if we draft Lacey Green-Ellis, it would solve our left outside linebacker problems most likely. And now we got to find maybe a kicker in free agency, probably be the best thing to do. But other than that, our team is just fine all around. We're good to see. It's actually good to see our team actually doing fine when it comes to attributes. But anything else left to do on here? Let's go move. Not move on. Let's go and scout some of these players. I just want to spin these points. So Rashard Law, I think he looks fine for left tackle. We don't need to scout him at all. We're fine there. Let's go look at some corners though. We need corners. Let's go to cornerback. Now, who do we need here? We do have Jared Austin. Let's go to him. He's not that bad. Wilcox. He's fine there. Verlin Griffin. He's not too bad. Marcus Merritt. He's okay. But Nesbitt looks pretty good, though, compared to everybody else. He is first-round talent. Lacey Ivy. That's a funny name. Nah, he's terrible. That's probably why he's a good name, just to go and distract you. But free safety, nah, we didn't really look at anything there. Strong safety, we probably need to look at a strong safety. We do Will Hill, though. I like Will Hill at strong safety. We don't need to draft another one, most likely. But let's go check out kickers, though. No kickers on there. Punters, there's a punters on there, but no kickers. It's kind of weird. But positions, we have nothing really left to scout, though. Our team is fine all around. We have youth every single position, most likely. Because we do have youth. I guess maybe it's not a corner, but we do have youth on the offensive line. Quarterback, obviously. We drafted our franchise last year. Running back, wide receiver, linebackers now after we got Ollie Godfrey in the draft. And I think, yeah, our defensive lines got youth on it too. What else should we do? Verlin Griffin? Just finish him off. And let's go and do Aaron Purnell. Purnell looks actually not that bad for a quarterback. We don't need one, though. So it'd be great to draft a backup quarterback, but we're not going to draft one this early at 4th round, though. Probably do it like 7th round if you're going to draft a quarterback as your backup. But anything else? Let's see, Youngblood. Finish him off, maybe. Youngblood's really good, though. Emory Youngblood. I got to take a look at drafting him, though. A+ hit power, B+ tackling, B+ pursuit. That's like the things you want in basically a middle linebacker. We could easily move him over and maybe to left inside linebacker, too. So Emory Youngblood, I'm kind of looking after him to draft him with our 1st round pick at 27th. Looks pretty good. Actually, finishing 27th when it comes to picks might be realistic this year. Team looks good to go all the way, most likely. So I don't know if Keifer Paup can lead us to a championship, but our team might be able to be up there. I know we're going to make the playoffs, I think. Our team looks like a playoff team, but let's go move on to the next week because we have nothing really left to do when it comes to the NFL. But wait, hold up. Let's see his negotiations. Anyone else to negotiate? Oh, yeah, we did that. We saw Rico wants to negotiate next week. But let's go move on to the next week. We really have no trades left to make. Let's go sim to the next week and see how the NFL looks after this bye week. So now in week 7 of the Browns season, we're doing very well. We're 4-1 on the season, so we're looking very good this season. But let's go check out what happened when it comes to injuries. And it looks like around Rolly Marmarosa, our 5th round pick, our star wide receiver in the draft, might be able to be back this week. And he is 78 overall, so he's back completely. Now he's 2nd in the rotation. But let's go move him into the starting rotation and make sure he plays this week against the Bengals. 4-2 Bengals versus the 4-1 Browns. So let's go move Marmosa to the wideout position there. Or should be wide receiver 3. Oh, he has speed, so we'll probably put him at the end. But I think we're good there. Our positions look fine. What else could we do? Maybe upgrade Keifer Paup this week, if we can. Let's go to upgrade player and see what we can do with Keifer Paup. Okay, so he's got awareness. He does have short accuracy. That might be good to see. Good to upgrade. Throw on the run, we can upgrade. Play action, we could do. Maybe play action 80. Carrying, you could probably upgrade his carrying too. Let's do this. And it doesn't go anything. Okay, so I want to increase his throw on the run, or not his throw on the run, his play action, because that's we use play action a lot in our offense. So it's good to have good play action. But let's go and check out what other players need some upgrading on our team, because I know there's a few. Actually, there's not really that many. Let's go to defense. Defense, we do have Courtney Upshaw. Might be able to jump to 80 overall this week. Ndamukong Suh. Suh's playing in his first game against the Bengals as a Browns. That's pretty cool to see. But anything else on here? Don't we have anything else? But we're 4-1. We're top of the AFC North. We're playing against the 2nd seed in the AFC North and the Bengals this week. It's crazy. Good divisional matchup. But let's go check out what happened in the NFL when it comes to Cole Colvin, though. I want to see how Cole Colvin's season's doing as a 49er. I doubt he's playing that well, though. I know the 49ers are bottom of the NFL. Let's go to the 49ers. So the Niners, they haven't even won a game this season. That's pathetic. At least they had a better game against the Texans, but they got blown out against the Seahawks last time out. Let's check out this game against the Texans. They just lost by a score of 27-23. They almost won the first game of the season, but let's go see player stats. So Cole Colvin, 265 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, a 71.3 passing rating, not the greatest for the first overall pick this season. But Osweiler had a great game, almost 400 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. That's pretty crazy. But let's move on and see how well Richard Rutherford did as the Patriots starter this season. I know Tom Brady was retiring that last season, so he's won his last 3 though. Okay, so he's won his last 3 as a Patriot starting quarterback, unless Geno Smith played. No, Geno played, okay. Oh no, he only played one series, it looks like. But Richard Rutherford, 204 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, an 88.8 passing rating, not too bad. How does receivers do? I want to see what Gronk did. The Gronk did nothing at all. Why aren't they using him? They're not even using him at all. Why are they not using Rob Gronkowski? I have no idea why they're not, but that's crazy. But anyway, Richard Rutherford looks to be succeeding as the Patriots pivot. But so I just want to check out what happened when it comes to reaction after that big trade last week that sent our backup middle linebacker Christian Kirksey and our backup defensive tackle in Silga to the Dolphins for our starting defensive tackle this week, Ndamukong Suh. So where is this? Is there any reaction? My stories. They didn't even say a single thing on here, but it looks like Will Hill III did enough to win AFC Defensive Player of the Week award for Week 5. That's crazy. But no award at all on our trade that happened, though. That's kind of messed up. We did a great trade there. So hold up. Right after I saw what happened to Will Hill when it comes to awards, I went to go check out these awards for top players of the week 1 through, I think, week 1 through 7. But right now, it looks like Keifer Paup won week 1, a player of the week for the AFC offense. So he had a great game in week 1 as his first start. Second week, we had nobody. Third week, we had nobody. Fourth week, we had nobody again. Fifth week, we had Will Hill III as our AFC defensive player of the week with 2 interceptions. And I think that's it. Okay, so our team's killing it so far this season. I want to see where Keifer Paup is when it comes to awards right now. Does it say anything? I don't think it says anything about awards yet when it comes to like MVP and all that kind of stuff. But our offense is doing very well, though. I saw on the chart it said that we're second in the NFL when it comes to points scored. We're only 12th in the NFL when it comes to defensive yards, so we're not too bad there. Yeah, points scored second in the NFL, 165 yards, 165 points scored this season. That's not too bad. So let's go move on to the next week and see how well we do against these Bengals, though, because we have nothing really left to do on this week. So week 8 of the NFL season, it looks like we took the L in that game. Damn, we're 4-2 in the season. It looks like the Bengals are top of the AFC North now. Damn it. Okay, so the Bengals, they won against us in that game. It sucks we lost, but let's check out how we lost, though. We lost 41-20, our first blow of the season, though. That's pretty sad to see, but player stats, check this out, though. So Keifer Paup, 228 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Andy Dalton, though, 380 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Just perfect on the day. Damn it. Okay, so rushing yards, Bernard had 99 yards rushing. Let's see this. Our rushing, though. Thorpe had 42, Duke Johnson had 40, Isaiah Crowell had 22, and a fumble. And I think that's about it. So let's check out receiving yards. Receiving yards, AJ Green had 227 yards receiving, 1 touchdown. Let's check ours. Eifert had 118 yards receiving, 1 touchdown. Gilmore had 74 yards receiving, Bernard had 61. And Roland Marmorosa in his first game out of his NFL career, 52 yards receiving on 3 receptions. So I guess it's not too bad, I guess, for him, but it kind of sucks. Corey Coleman, though, had 47 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns, not too bad for him. Gary Barnes had 46. And I think that's about it. And Crowell had 9 yards. But let's see blocking. Our blocking must have been a mess. Only 1 sack lit up by Julius Creighton, though. That's not too bad. Defense, we really Hill had 11 tackles. Demario Davis had 10 tackles. Junior Gillette had 9. Joe Hayden had 8. Butler had 7. Let's see your sacks, though. No sack. Oh, Emmanuel Ogbah had 1 sack. Atkins had half 1. Dunlop had half 1. And that's about it. So only 2 sacks in the game for both teams. Interceptions, though. No interceptions, but 1 for George Iloka, I think. Free safety of the Bengals. But that's about it when it comes to stats. So our team sucked this week. Just flat out sucked. We had no field goals made. It was just a terrible game by us. Just a terrible effort, too. But who should we play against in our next gameplay video? Maybe you could play against the Colts. Let's go sim this next week, though, and I'll see how well we play against these Titans. The Titans, they have Marcus Mariota. We did end up trading Dorial Green-Beckham from their team last year, so I never know. But wait, hold up. The Ravens actually won a game, 1-5 now. Okay. The Ravens finally won a game. I'm surprised to see that. But let's move on to the next week after you go do some scouting. So scouting, I did do some scouting last week, if you're wondering. I just skipped that out, but I did scout the rest of those cornerbacks, and I did find a few decent players late in, I guess, the first round. Where are they? There's Robert Fain. There's Emery Youngblood, who's really good right there. You have Nesbitt, and you have Merritt. Who else? Oh, yeah, Stephen Horan, too, is not too bad. Ricardo Levy's pretty good. Diamond Easley is pretty good. And Eduardo Sperry is pretty good himself, too. But let's go with the rest of these guys. I really don't care how I spend my points. Do there. Justin Dickerson. Oh, he's terrible. Damn, I shouldn't have spent my points on him. But Jarrett Inman. He's not too bad, I guess. Kane Spicer. See, Spicer, though. Spicer's not that bad. So it's Kane Spicer from Texas A&M, looking very good coming out of the draft when it comes to QB prospects. I don't know why I scouted him, but he's on there for scouting. Marquise Farrell. Marquise is not that bad. Isaac Reese. He's pretty good himself, too. One cut running back. Trey Kyle. He's pretty good himself, too. Adibai. He's not too bad. I guess he's a decent wide receiver, and we have 0 points to spend for this week. Okay, so this week I'm putting a focus on scouting for this draft, so you know the player is a little bit more in depth. But let's go sim this game against the Titans and the Browns. We're at home. We got to take this W against Marcus Mariota and those Tennessee Titans. So week 9 of NFL season, we're 5-2 now. We beat those Tennessee Titans. Marcus Mariota, man, we actually won. And Keifer Paup's overall went up too due to his confidence. That's cool. Anything else? I think that's about it. So our team looking great so far this season. We're 5-2. We're tied for first in the AFC North against those Bengals. Right now, it looks like we're 5th in NFL when it comes to stats. But the Packers are 6-2, Raiders 6-1, and the Seahawks 6-1. Okay, the Falcons have fallen though too. They only lost 2 games in a row. But let's go move on to see how well we play against those Tennessee Titans and Marcus Mariota. So 35-17 was the W. We won by, I think, what is that, 14 points, 18 points maybe. I don't know. See team schedule and see how well we played. So I want to see how our QB did, Keifer Paup. But Keifer Paup, how well did he play? He did not too bad. 331 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I think it's pretty good for him. But Marcus Mariota had a terrible game against our defense. 264 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. His 68.3 passing rating, not that good. But Keifer Paup, 118.2 passing rating, not too bad on the day. But did he get injured? Nope. Okay. He just brought in Robert Griffin III to go and start the rest of the game. But rushing yards, let's see how he did with rushing. DeMarco Murray had 76 yards rushing on 19 attempts, 1 fumble. Duke Johnson 58 yards rushing, 20 attempts, 2.9 per carry, not that good. And let's check out our receiving yards. Receiving, Corey Coleman 114 yards receiving, 8 receptions, 2 touchdowns on the day. That's crazy good. Let's see the rest. Kendall Red had 71, Ruben Randall had 70, Barnage had 67, Marmros had 62 and 5 receptions, not too bad. Gilmer had 61, Stills at 25, and that's about it. Blocking, do we let up any sacks? 3 sacks let up by Jack Conklin, and 1 by the Titans, so no sacks let up by our offensive line. That's crazy, at least that are responsible for our offensive line. But defense, they had 12 tackles to Dwayne Gratz, 1 tackle for a loss. Upshaw had 12 tackles and 2.5 sacks. It's crazy good. Ali Godfrey 12 tackles. Wesley Woodyard had 10 tackles. Campbell had 8. Junior Glad had 8.5 a sack. Gilbert at 6 tackles, not too bad. Let's see sacks though. Let us in sacks. Courtney Upshaw had 2.5 sacks. Ogba had 2 sacks. Campbell had 1 sack, and Glad had half a sack. Not too bad. Interceptions. 1 interception for Quan Williams and 1 for Joe Hayden once again. So Joe Hayden looked to be another Pro Bowl season for him. After I don't know how many interceptions he has this season, though. A lot though for him. Let's see kicking though. Do he kick any field goals? And it looks like Travis Coons missed a field goal again. Oh my god, he's terrible. You guys started maybe looking at replacing Travis Coons next season. He's just garbage this season. Like when he actually kick field goals for this season, he's missed almost all of them. I think he's like 50% on the season. He's just garbage. But he's made 5 extra points. That's not too bad. But still though, how do you miss a field goal when you're only on there for maybe 6 kicks in the past 7 games? It's crazy bad. But we won the game. That's all that matters. Let's go into the next week though. After we go and check out what happened to Cole Colvin and those 49ers. So Colvin, they won a game last week, but they lost again this week. They're just a terrible team. Let's check out the one they lost against this week. And it looks like Colvin, 77 yards passing, 63.8 passing rating. Not that good for him. Then even Colin Kaepernick had to come in because he's that bad. So Cole Colvin, not the season he's been imagining. He's just having a terrible one for this. I guess if you're on the 49ers, you're bound to have a terrible season. But we're the Cleveland Browns are having a better season than him, though. That's just terrible. So last week they actually won a game. I was surprised about that. But let's see this. So Cole Colvin, his first big game of the season, 217 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and 130.9 passing rating. Not too bad for him. The first overall pick for this season. But rushing, who led him? I guess Carlos had a good rushing game for them. Receiving yards, who stepped up for receiving for them? Looks like Seth Roberts did. But let's check out defense. Their defense must have excelled. Interceptions. They didn't even do anything. Okay, so at least DeForest Buckner had 2.5 sacks, but that's about it. So Cole Colvin won a game, but he lost the next one, just played terrible. So he's been on and off this season, though. He's had decent games, but he's had just drop dead terrible games, though. So let's go move on to the next week, though, and see how well we play against this next team, though. Who are you playing this week, actually? We're playing the Colts though. Wait, hold up. I'm gonna end this episode off right here. Next episode will be the Colts game, but first we'll go and do some scouting just before we do any of this. So scouting, just continue on what we're doing right now. Just going and scouting random players. Who do we need? No tight ends. Well, not Sean Mills. He's terrible. Not left tackle. AJ Peters is not that good. DeMarco Reese we don't need. We don't need a right guard. Running back. We do need Milner though. Let's see him. He's pretty good though. Emmanuel Milner, middle linebacker. Defensive tackle's not that good. Patrick Wright Keisel. He's pretty good too. Okay, so we're finding some pretty good talent in this second round. We have a lot of second round picks. I'll give it 2 or 3. But Aaron Sellers, what is he? He's pretty good himself too. Wesley Kyle. He's pretty good too. Okay, a lot of pretty good players. I'm gonna say it a lot, but right to linebacker Jacoby Wharton. Not too bad. Samuel Fain. Let's see him. Not too bad. And let's see Alute. We can't scout him. Okay, so did the scouting. We scouted a lot of players so far this season. Our team is rolling right now at a 5-2 record. We're top the NFL, at least we're top 10 in the NFL when it comes to record. Our team's killing it. But I guess on this episode off right here, make sure to like and subscribe for more Browns Franchise One. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.